sometime back, not too long back, a few weeks I guess, I started realizing that I don't need to go a gazillion miles an hour downhill, even though I still have and do. But the majority of the time I'm actually even like tapping on the brakes to slow me down, just so I can just chill out and enjoy and not pedal. And this is a good example of it. I mean, I have like a gigantic downhill and I'm just cruising, checking out the scenery and enjoying it. Another interesting fact about today is that for all the miles I've been riding on the interstate, there's potatoes everywhere. Every 100 yards, there's a cluster of them. It's been close to 3 months and 4,000 miles since I left Florence, South Carolina on my bike. I cherish every mile in front of me with only a few days left of riding before reaching the Pacific Ocean. I'm midway through this close to 80-mile day looking to reach Moses Lake and a campground where I can pitch my tent. Along the way, riding on Interstate 90, I found an endless supply of potatoes and onions that have fallen off trucks. I eventually stopped and picked up one of these onions so as to use it for my dinner later on. I'm 75 miles, almost 74 and a half. Long day. And I'm camping, I don't care what. I'm gonna find a campsite. I'm tired of not being in my tent. I'm like destroyed. I did 78 miles and I think maybe 20 were like in the morning when it was calm and quiet, and I did a few miles off the highway. I get to make my recipe of choice, which is Knorr's ready pasta. I got some creamy garlic, creamy stuff. Oh, and I also found that onion on the road, so I'm gonna chop that baby up and add the whole thing into my pasta, and that is gonna be phenomenal. Once I rode into the city of Moses Lake, I had a bit of difficulty finding a campground. Unwilling to spend another night away from sleeping in my tent, I kept riding and eventually found an RV park that allowed me to camp. Once settled into a campsite facing these giant aspen trees that border the property, I started making one of my go-to dinners. I use pre-cooked flavored pasta and often add whatever veggies I can find. These almost ready-made dinners are convenient to travel with as they are light, ask for only water to be added, and take only 10 minutes to fully cook. I take time to call my friends Rachel and Becca in Ellensburg, Washington. They are the daughters of one of my neighbors back home and have offered for me to stay in one of their homes the next day. I lucked out this morning being able to ride another frontage road until past midday. The temperatures are low in the 30s, but as soon as the sun came out, temperatures quickly rose. I'm heading to Ellensburg, crossing over the Columbia River for the first time in my life. This frontage road had plenty of farming traffic, but it was quiet for the most part. The most eventful time came when a pack of Labrador retrievers ran through their property's fence and onto the frontage road to say hello to me. Starving! Starving! I'm not gonna make light of this moment. Even though I've been around many dogs chasing me while riding past their properties, this pack of wolves made me the most concerned. No! I'm already gone. Go home. My favorite pack of wolves, yellow labs. Oh man, how cool was that? That was exceptional. That looks dangerous. That's how you get hurt in a bicycle. Today's gonna be the last day of grinding like miles ahead, another 70-mile day. And it's not the distance, but just the straight shot, trying to cover ground to get closer to the coast in case I get a snowstorm. But I think I've done that. I've accomplished that, and with the help of the weather, I've cleared myself of the anxiety of having to battle west winds, fingers crossed, head on for multiple days. And after today, tomorrow morning, I start a variety of trails. Gotta get today done, and then I can just enjoy. It's gonna be fun. A lot of gravel trails and beautiful scenery. The Washington scenery that I really look forward to on my way here. Onward. Washington State has a multitude of different ecosystems such as prairies, estuaries, grasslands, shrub steppe, rainforest, marine waters, and grasslands. It is home to two distinct ecosystems not found anywhere else on Earth, the Olympic rainforest and the Columbia Plateau. It seemed to me as a rider that every day was offering a different landscape, from desert to pine forest and eventually rainforest. I'm seeing incoming traffic, so I'm keeping entertained, checking out the truckers and the loads that they carry, and I'm actually able to wave at them and get a wave back every time. The trucker community has really impressed me in my trip across the US. They're super cool badasses. They deliver our goods all around the country, and it's impressive. Their career is extraordinary. All they see, they know the country very well, or at least the areas they end up trucking through. As I ride the few miles available on this frontage road before getting back on Interstate 90, I entertain myself watching the incoming trucks and waving at their drivers. A kindred spirit has developed with me when it comes to the trucker community. It's hard to avoid, as they seem to spend as much daily time on the road as I have this summer. Back on the interstate, I contemplate the many days and miles I have spent on the shoulder of I-90. It is one of several highways I have rode on this summer, but without doubt the most memorable, as it is at times surrounded by breathtaking natural beauty, and at other times it is crazy with traffic. This is my goodbye stretch to I-90. It's the last stretch that I'll be doing on any interstate, and this one's been the one I've used the most, from Buffalo, Montana, on and off all the way to here. There's no doubt that this cycling is changing my life, and I will never stop doing this. I can't imagine. It's nostalgic to even think about not ever being able to be on the side of an interstate, or rails to trails, or a muddy farm road, or top of some mountains. Woo! Amazing! Unbelievably beautiful! Why isn't there like a scenic stop here? Everybody has to see this. Wow! I gotta stop. I mean, unbelievably gorgeous. I got a video of this. Being the largest river in the Pacific Northwest, the Columbia River rises in the Canadian Rocky Mountains of British Columbia towards the northwest before turning south into the United States. As it meanders through the state of Washington, it eventually turns westward, emptying into the Pacific Ocean, creating the borders between the states of Oregon to the south and Washington to the north. The river is 1,243 miles long and is the fourth largest river by volume in the United States. Its largest tributary is the Snake River, which starts in Wyoming and after running through the states of Idaho and Oregon, drains into the Columbia River at Tri-Cities, Washington. As I descend onto Vantage Bridge to cross the Columbia River and its Wanapum Lake, I'm struck by this powerful scenery. I have read enough about the history of this river and it is a definite highlight of my trip to have the opportunity to see it and ride across it. After crossing the bridge, I take time to rest in the shade of an underpass and prepare to climb the RYEGRASS Pass at 2,562 feet. This last pass of my summer proved to be most agreeable. It was light and great, and even though long enough to be considered challenging, it was not challenging enough to wear me out. I see toys, little toys like this on the side of the road. It's not common, but every once in a while I'm always on the lookout. I'll keep this one, but it's the first one I ever have. And I think it's kids testing their physics. I think it's kids like throwing their toys out the window to see how they're gonna come back to them, and they never do. So probably one of those early life experiences. I rode myself right into a nice pass here on the west side of the Columbia on I-90. I didn't see it coming, so it's kind of a good surprise. It's been fun. A real nice grade, and it just continues climbs. Every time I make a turn, I see another big long straightaway. This is one legit pass. It's just endless. I've been, I think, 5 miles or so, and it just keeps going and going, and it's beautiful. Easy grades, I'm just chilling to music and enjoying. Apples are on the move. There's all these trucks with boxes, like that one. Every time one goes by, super fragrant with apple. It's pretty awesome. Makes me want to eat an apple. One of the most memorable aspects of this day were the countless trucks that went by me while climbing RYEGRASS Pass, leaving a scent of apples that would haunt me for the rest of the day until I could get my hands on one. Washington State is known as one of the best states to grow apples. It grows 7 principal apples we see in grocery stores around the country, including Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Fuji and Gala, Granny Smith, and Honey Crisp. I'm 7 miles in and still climbing. I gotta find out the name of this pass. It's absolutely amazingly cool. It's not difficult, but it's no joke either. It's straight up with a slight grade for miles and miles. I continue to climb RYEGRASS Pass, enjoying every moment before reaching its summit and racing down into Ellensburg. The end of another fabulous day of bicycle touring is near. As I ride myself into the last few days and miles left on my crossing of the United States, I can't help but to feel a bit nostalgic about the coming end of my days of cycling this summer. What a day I'm having over the Columbia. That frontage road was awesome and gifted with this insane climb. Just keeps going and going. Every turn I make is just more. I got some kick-ass tunes going. I'm in such a groove, I could go on forever right now. Woo! So fun. Climbing is the bomb.